Hi, I'm Anna October, and this is Yes, No, Maybe podcast.
All right, Anna October.
Welcome.
Welcome to the Yes No Maybe podcast.
Thank you, girls. I'm so happy to see you. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. Can we just say what a goddess you look like on the couch here right now?
Seriously sexy right now.
I feel like this is like photo shoot material. Like we should have a photographer here taking pictures, and we are dressed in your amazing designs. And speaking for myself, I feel amazing. I feel really, really great. So thank you.
I feel incredibly feminine, but I've got a little bit of me on top, which I like. So yeah, and I like the hands.
Yeah. Well, cheers.
Cheers to
Cheers.
you.
Cheers to you. And
Cheers to you, gorgeous girls.
Oh. Okay.
This is kind of giving me Sex in the City vibes. Carrie Bradshaw in the first season. What is this an inspiration of yours or?
It's the inspiration of the whole life.
Wow.
Totally. No, I was raised by this series, and definitely the style and the vibe and how they were talking about life. Everything just it's such an inspiration. And yes, of course, it was the taffeta skirt had the roots from the Sex in the City.
Okay, so you are from Ukraine originally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I read something that your mum was quite a big inspiration in your designs. Is that correct? She told you to be a lady.
Oh yeah, she was a detective.
A detective?
Yes, but she was a detective in style. So she would wear only three colors, like white, red, and black, and only gold jewelry. And she was wearing hats and three-pieces suit. So it was an inspiration. She was an inspiration. And yeah, it was my first fashion memory. Her going to the work.
Her going to work.
And yeah, when I was doing something wrong, she would tell me, Anna, don't act like that. You're a lady. Act like a lady.
So what does acting like a lady mean to you?
Well, it's an interesting question. She never explained to me, but she was teaching me a lot of beautiful and very useful stuff like etiquette and how to serve the table and how to put the flowers, how to garden the gardening. And I think this was a lady's attitude. This was like what the ladies do. But in general, I think today, if we question what is it to be a lady, well, what do you think actually?
Yeah, it's a hard question. What is it to be a lady? I think there's something about being strong and powerful and
That
standing.
was the word that came to me, powerful.
Yeah, standing in, your own voice and being able to hold your own. For me personally, I think that's what that means. In the last few months, Anna and I have been on our own little journey, and we've had to stand on our own and figure it out and push ahead. And I feel like, to me, I guess that's what being a lady feels like, being powerful. And
I love your explanation and doing all this with a grace.
Exactly.
And not loudly, and like being generous and being kind and being like I don't know, a soft power.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. A soft power. Yeah, doing it with class.
Yes.
And grace.
Yes.
That's a good word.
And how do you express that in your clothes and your designs and creations?
Well, it's always, when I'm creating a piece, I'm talking to it. I'm talking with each dress and I'm questioning it. Like, is it enough soft? Is it enough flowy? Does it give the woman a feeling that she's owning the room? Or does this dress take some attention from her feelings to how the dress feels on? So the idea is to make it invisible in a way, to make the woman visible and the dress like just as an accent on her personality, but not to take off the attention from how graceful she is.
So it's more about the female's body and her.
Totally.
And this is just accentuating
Totally.
who she already is.
Yes,
Yeah.
and when I was working a lot with cotton as a material, and then actually it was a comment from our friends in common, Julie Plevas, and she said, cotton is the fabric that doesn't suit anyone. Like a skin girl looks more not so fragile, and more big girl looks not so sophisticated. So, and I was like, okay, and what would be the material and to work well on both types. So I stopped working with cotton because it's not graceful, and I started to choose fabrics that are following the body and that are silky and
Expensive feeling.
Yeah. So you were 19 when you first launched your brand, is that correct?
As a brand, yes, but I was working even before. I started to work when I was 13.
Oh, wow.
Because I had to. It was the context. And I was working as a waiter. And then I was writing articles about fashion.
At 13?
Mhm.
Wow.
In Zaporizhia, in Ukraine. And then I was working in the magazine. And from 15, I started to make dresses, but I was never making them by my own. I always knew that I have to find a team. So I found people who would sew them. And I was suggesting designs and fabrics to mothers of my classmates. For example, she would have a birthday and I would come to her and sketch her and she would buy it. I would make a dress for her. And this was the most amazing school and um, the most beautiful experience, because first of all, I was working with like real women, not, I mean, models also real, but it's
Yeah.
like you understand the needs, you understand how she lives in these clothes, and this I was making from 15. So, and since I knew that I want to have a brand, to be a designer since I was 8, when I was 19, it was like already 11 years keeping this idea in mind. So I just launched the website, made the first collection, and started to knock in all the doors.
And how supportive were your family? You're working at 13. Why did you have to work at 13? Did you feel like they supported your dream of being a designer?
Well, I cannot say that my story is based on the support of the family or some great circumstances. Maybe just opposite. So I had to work because my family situation was tough, and I had to make money for living. Not romantic at all, but I think this shaped me a lot, and this built my attitude to my work and to design as well, because I doing dresses to for women to wear them and to buy them. So it was not to be a creative designer, to be a crazy designer, to be a famous designer. It was like to be a good designer and to make things reasonable for those that want to pay them. Speaking about the family support, I mean, my mother, she was never saying me no, but I was totally on my own. So I chose where I want to study, then what I want to do. And like, it was just my choice. But she would always be supportive, saying that you deserve everything. You're gonna be great. You're the best. So I think that even she couldn't support me kind of financially or with some advices because she didn't know nothing about this field. But she totally gave me this belief that if I want, I can.
I mean, that's very powerful.
Mm.
It's I think it's very important to have people in your life, even if you don't have everything else that other people have, but you have someone who believes in your ability, who says, I got you, you can do it, you can put your mind to anything and you can achieve it. That's super powerful in its own right.
Absolutely. And also the attitude, this very sensitive feeling of the beauty and of the grace that I received from her as a present. I think this made a difference. So I really appreciate it. I think it's more than money.
Yeah, definitely. How did I know you've just spoken about like the work that you had to do, but how did growing up in Ukraine inspire you to create your designs? Because I know that, you know, you're very central and your designs have this freedom element to them as well. But Ukraine, you know, I've never been, but it's quite industrial, and, you know, so they almost seem like stark opposites in a way. How have they meshed together to kind of create, you know, an October?
Well, I think the reference and the influence is not so cultural, but more emotional. And since I was from early childhood, I was living in my own imaginary world, um, and I felt things differently. I pictured them differently in order to kind of survive, and in order to build my own story. And for me, Ukraine is a mix of tenderness and resilience, because there is a beautiful nature, and I was raised in the summer house. Like, this is my main beautiful memories from the childhood. So I would spend all the summer in the garden, and this feeling of like walking the grass with a bare foot and flowers around. I think this is kind of a spirit that that is in the base of the brand and what I'm creating. On the other hand, of course, industrial and like city life, tough life. But I think that didn't reflects in the design at all. Like, this is just giving me strength to go through some situations easily, easier than others.
I mean, when I met you, you've got a very ethereal energy about you. You're very kind of fairy-like and in your own world and kind of on your own adventure. And I definitely think it comes through in the clothes that you design, for sure.
You came out with your initial designs, and how did you do it? Because I mean, a lot of people can have a vision for something but not actually see it through, not actually make it happen. So how did you take a concept and get it out into the world and actually make a success of it? Because that's hard, and you've done it, and you've done it very, very well. So was there strategy involved, or was it just that you had a strong vision and somehow the right doors opened, and, you know, it
There was
came to
no
be?
single door that opened by itself. There
Oh,
was
really?
like me, like
Kicking them open.
yes.
Yeah.
No, it was no strategy. It was just you know, when you have a dream and you don't know the how to get there, but you are obsessed and you just believe in that wherever happens you get there. And I really didn't know nothing about business, about fashion. And I was again starting it from Ukraine, from Zaporizhia, and then from Odessa, which is like so far from Paris and London and New York. I didn't even speak English well that time. And I didn't know when I went first for the fashion week in Paris, and I didn't know what does mean to follow up in the email. But since I was putting all my efforts, all my time into this, I literally gave all my use to the brand. I just recently realized it. So, like, you know, sometimes people say, I gave all my use to you, to the husband, to the family, and I gave my use to the brand. So I was just and still obsessed. I think when you have the idea that is bigger than money, that is bigger than your ego, and that is sincere, I think certain doors, at least you will see them, and then you will have the courage to open them. Definitely, I was, and I believe still lucky with people whom I meet, because without the support of certain people, I think I would not get so well.
So do you believe it's a power of who you know and your contacts for your success, or it's just you just driving yourself forward?
It's not like that. It's not like networking. So I hate networking.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that no, it's just when you put the amount of the energy into something, and people will recognize this, and then you will get to know certain people, but without this crazy commitment, nothing works, and no connections, and even no money. I don't believe that money or connections can make it happen without work.
And without obsession.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
without the product.
Yeah.
Because honestly, all this we are talking is like more about like vibe, life, psychology. But then you have a product or you don't have a product.
Yeah, and it's either going to sell for itself or it's not.
Yes.
Yeah. Having the product also gives you credibility when you do meet the right people. Then at least you have something to show, you know. But before that comes the hard work and the lead up to actually having, you know, a tangible thing in front of you.
But I was super hungry when I started. I would bump into people and just ask them, I want to be a designer, what I have to do, or I know you have a store and it's my dream to work with you. Please come and look at my collection. I want you to buy my collection. And actually the first international store, how I got there, it was a very funny story because there was a store in Antwerp called Ra 13, and I discovered this store before even launching the brand. And when I entered, I was like, wow, when I will have a brand, I want the collection to be selling here. And in 1 year or less, I launched the brand. I've got the first store, which was official Comme des Garçons store in Ukraine, Atelier 1. So my first address was like in front of Comme des Garçons, which was absolutely shocking and huge and amazing. And I knew that to get other clients, you kind of have to have this card showing what you already achieved. So I came to Antwerp again, came to this store, felt that this girl is the owner. This is about meeting right people. I came to her saying like, are you the owner of this store? She's like, yes. I'm like, I'm a designer. I want to work with you. Please take a look at my collection. She's like, I don't do this. Please contact the buyer. And she gave me the email of the buyer. I sent 5 emails. My emails were terrible. Like the topic was a new talented designer. And then it was like, hi, I'm Anna. I'm a new talented designer from Ukraine. Please take a look at my collection. I want to work with you. Looking forward to hearing from you soon.
Yeah.
Of course, he didn't answer. So I was not lazy. I came again. And I found him. Again, I felt that this guy is the buyer. I came to him and asked, hi, I'm Anna October. Why you don't answer my emails?
I love it.
Tenacious.
I love it.
He was so shocked that he invited me to have a seat and to tell more about the brand, and in 5 minutes asked me if I am gonna have a show and if I can invite him. Of course I did. So he was the first international buyer coming to Ukraine for the Fashion Week in 2010 or 11, and seeing the show was beautiful. The collection was really like avant-garde, very interesting patchwork sweaters. Like there was so many fabrics, so many techniques. It was like cool for their store. So he bought it. For me, it was huge. Of course, I registered the company by myself. Started to do all these shipments and stuff. I would go by myself with boxes to the customs, whatever. So it was like the whole process from the beginning, built with like hands and with just obsession. Being stupid and being workaholic pays you back.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it's being, what is, I think it was Will Smith who talks about not being realistic, having a bit of a delusional mindset. He says that some of the greatest people or most successful people are somewhat delusional because they truly, truly, truly believe that they're going to get there, you know, and a lot of people don't have that kind of mindset, but sometimes it's that mindset that actually gets you to the top, you know.
In this regards, I'm sometimes thinking about Rihanna. Like if she
Rihanna?
did it,
Yeah.
we can do it too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How much, so obviously Anna's Pleasure Garden, how much does pleasure inspire you? Yeah, I can see you've got pleasure, the necklace.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is the necklace is from my current collaboration that is launching in June with Jewelry Brand, and it's the tribute to Sex and the City Carrie necklace. So I changed it to the pleasure because I think the pleasure is one of the basic processes that define you as the human. because this makes you feel alive, and this makes you feel senses, and this what defines you from the animals. So in terms of work and how much pleasure is in the work, of course, not every day, but without the pleasure and without this relaxed and beautiful vibe, it's hard to make a good clothes. It's like, you don't have to go to the store when you're hungry.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you cannot make good decisions if you're tired. And you cannot make a good dress if you don't feel the pleasure. Because otherwise, you have to translate it, you have to experience that, you have to translate it, so then girls will wear the dresses and experience this too.
Yeah. They feel sexy and, great date night dresses,
Well, we actually call on October a date-ready brand because it's like whether you have a date with a partner or with yourself or with a town, you can choose the dress from our collection and it will be a good choice.
Which is your favorite for date night out of your pieces?
Honestly, I'm wearing now.
Yeah.
It's a water lily. It's our signature dress, like a structured with a bra slip dress. I usually wear this, but honestly, I have a lot of traditions about dates. So for a new
Tell
boyfriend,
us.
Yeah.
What's your traditions? We want to know the tea.
well, so I prefer not to go in the same dress for dates. So I would better choose for each guy a new dress.
Is that an energy thing? Is that because you feel like you've worn that in that
No,
date?
I
Or
honestly I don't remember if I worn it before or not, but it's more about the attitude that I'm putting extra effort, extra energy to a new potential lover because I want to make it special. So I have, if it would be in Paris, I have certain tradition. I'm choosing a dress, then I go to have a breakfast in my favorite restaurant, Float, at Rue Cambon. And then I go to Agent Provocateur near there.
Oh, yes.
And buy a new linger. And yeah, I like each story to be a new chapter.
Do you write at all? I don't know why I feel like you suit the image of someone who I just could see you in a cafe in Paris, writing some your thoughts in a journal. I might be way off book, but do you ever sit down and write?
I'm trying to do journaling, but my journaling ends up with like a list of to do.
Oh yeah, to-do list. Yeah, things you need to get done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm a big fan of lists. I have lists of like what makes me happy, what bothers me, what I want to buy. Like I have a lot of lists.
Do you have a list of what you want in a potential partner?
Yeah, I have a lot of lists like that. And actually, I haven't done for quite a long time, but now I have. I think I know. I just understand the feeling about the potential partner, and everything else. It's like flexible.
You know what I've picked up on now, just as we're talking, is that you seem to make a lot of decisions based on your gut and your intuition. Earlier, you were saying how the people that you were trying to network with were based off of your feeling towards them. So how does instinct play into just, I guess, life? We are talking about your designs, but you're more than a designer. There's other things that you do as well. So how do you use your gut to make decisions?
Oh, thank you actually for calling me more than a designer because it's something that I realized just recently. I was living in the identity designer and that's all for a long time. And now I'm trying to like put this separated. Speaking about the god, I'm a witch.
Yeah.
I honestly have a very strong intuition, and sometimes it's freaking me out even. But
in what sense? Like in a psychic way or just
well, for example, the most crazy situation was when I went for holidays with my bestie, and she was jumping from the rock wearing her ring, like a very beautiful golden ring. and she lost it, and it was like 5 or 6 meters under the water. And next day, randomly, I was swimming. She was looking for this ring, and like she was asking for people to help, and no one could help, and everyone was like, it's too deep, and it's like a storm, you will never find it. And then I was just swimming, and then randomly in one spot of the ocean I felt that the ring is there, and I made one
Dive.
and
Deep dive.
I've seen it, and I picked it up, and it was insane.
Wow.
Like, so, and then I realized, yeah, I have a feelings. In life, I think I have a feeling about people, and with whom I feel good or bad, and it usually makes sense. And then sometimes it's just going that road, but not that. Or, I don't know, having a feeling that something is coming.
Like allowing yourself to get excited about other opportunities and other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, one of the most desirable feelings and states of like mental states for me is when I'm relaxed and trusting the world, and feeling that something good is gonna happen. Of course, it comes together with the hard work. Of course, it doesn't comes with like laying in the bed and just waiting for something to happen. No, but it's a better feeling than always be control freak.
You've said that as we've been working on a lot of other projects recently, you've put some of your creative stuff aside, and things have come knocking on the door because you've not been chasing it for the first time, which is quite interesting. And it kind of ties into you saying that obviously it's hard work, but you sit there, and when you're not chasing something, sometimes it comes. So it's quite fascinating.
Because I think it's like you're not desperate for things to happen, and instead you're letting it go, so then it comes to you.
Like, you have to put the goal, but you don't have to be obsessed with that. It's like, by the way, I'm reading now this book, Atomic Habits.
Oh,
Yes,
such a
it's a
good
great
book.
And I love this idea about that we usually fixed on the result, but not on the process. So we keep in mind the result, but if we will put more attention to the process and making this systematic, it will bring us to the result, and in general it will be more sustainable in the long-term perspective. So yeah, being not obsessed with just a certain, like losing 10 kilos, but being obsessed with keeping the healthy routine is more fulfilling.
Yeah, because also that's life. Life is the process, you know.
Consistency.
Yeah, but we're always aiming to get somewhere, but actually the getting there is life.
Yeah.
You know, it's the reward is getting to the end, but there's all these little wins and maybe little failures getting to the end point, but that's life, you know.
If you weren't a designer, what would you have done?
Never ask myself this. Honestly, I'm trying to ask
No
this.
plan
That's
B,
the obsession.
or
Yeah.
I'm trying to ask myself this now, because I honestly started to think about some other scenarios of my life, and I realized that I don't have an answer. I mean, I'm trying to get hobby, but once I get the hobby, for example, I decided, not decided, but I was dreaming to start to make pictures. And then I made not the work from this, but I started to do it more professionally, to do it for the brand. So it's not a hobby anymore, and I don't like to photograph now because I'm getting too obsessed with the result. I don't know. I like gardening, and I think the next chapter and the other thing in my life would be a family, even it's very basic.
That's the ultimate creation, though, having a baby, I think. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that what I'm doing in life is creating beauty around. So creating it for a selected number of people would be interesting project. Not project, but interesting evolvement of the personality, rather than professional only professional personality.
Yeah. I like what you said earlier about identity and placing your identity in being a designer. Because I know for me, and I'm assuming for you, you know, the idea of being an actor or being a writer, you know, placing so much importance on that's what I am. And if I'm not fully living in that at times, then I start to feel guilty or blame myself or think I'm not doing enough, when in actual fact, I'm not just those things. I am a friend and a partner, and I love travel, and other things excite me. So I think there's something really important about not placing the identity on what you do, you know, and separating yourself from it.
Yes, this is the most pleasant and freeing feeling for me. Actually, I can. I would love to share the most, I think, freeing experience was when I went to the Spitsbergen. It's a Svalbard. It's like the most northern archipelago before the North Pole, and I was on the snow jet riding on the in the middle of the snow mountains, and I felt myself nothing. I felt myself like a small animal, not a big one at all, not powerful, because there was this bears and other big animals who were owning this land, and you as a human there is nothing. Even they have a law that, like, if you will kill the bear, you will go to jail. If the bear will eat you, it's your problem. Even your family will be fined for you dying on this land.
Wow.
Because you are prohibited to die on this land.
Wow.
It costs money because it's like,
Yeah.
it's so clean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Such clean.
so, and this feeling of losing the ego, losing the idea that I'm choosing something, that I'm something important, someone important. This is the most beautiful. You just understand the diversity and the greatness of the world, with all the beings, of the all the animals and humans, and then you feel such a unity and freedom. Sorry.
No, I completely agree.
Yeah.
When I look at the sky, when I look at the stars, I feel we are just a tiny speck, and actually,
Just a
it's
blip.
not that big a deal, really, in the grand
No.
scheme of things.
And with this in mind, all the problems about the business, about all the stuff, like, we're not building the spaceship, and we're not developing the medicine. We're doing beautiful, fun stuff, and that's it. Like, it should be fun, it should be pleasant.
Yeah, and it's all part of it, isn't it? How does music inspire you, or does it inspire you at all in the way that you create, in the way that you see the world? Do you use it to help you, you know, bring things to life?
Not linear and not like directly, but I'm a raver. Since
She loves to dance.
I'm a raver. I was escaping the house from the window and going to the underground raves, listening to techno and to tech minimal and IDM when I was 12. Since I'm 12, so I was raised on this music. My biggest music love of all times is Aphex Twin, and I was drawing my first collections, listening to this music. Now, raving is just my escapism.
Yeah.
The contrast with the life, that not the part of the life that I love, where I can express myself, where I can feel united in a dance with other people. So yeah, dancing and listening to music is a big part of me. But when I draw and when I work, I never listen to music.
Oh, interesting.
Sometimes before I would used to listen to selected ambient works of Aphex Twin, but then I stopped. Now I never like.
Is that because it influences your work, or
Well,
why
before
do you
I would even think, before my work was more, I tried to be conceptual designer. I tried to be an artist when I was younger, and I would even think how I can draw this melody. How can I draw the rhythm? Which would be the colors? How can I express this? Now I'm more focused on the body. So you don't want to try to understand which music I was listening. You want to look beautiful. So now I would go to maybe classical concert to be inspired for certain vibe, as well as the rave.
Are there any? I know you've dressed a large number of celebrities, but are there any powerful women that you haven't dressed yet that you would love to design or dress for?
Yes, of course. I want to dress Rihanna
Oh, yes.
and Lana Del Rey.
Oh, yes.
Lana Del Rey, totally. Like she made my last 10 years special.
Why?
Because she's speaking to my heart. She's speaking to my feelings. Once I'm in love, once I'm sad about losing the love, I'm listening to Lana. Once I'm with my bestie drinking in the hotel room, jumping on the bed, it's Lana Del Rey. She's epic.
We were talking about that the other day, actually. We were talking about when we were younger, who were we obsessed with as artists, you know? And I was completely obsessed with Britney Spears, but completely. Like, I had posters all over my walls. I had like her concerts and she had a video game, and I knew all the words. Actually, I knew all the words to all her songs. And yeah, we were just talking about how sometimes you can become obsessed with certain artists and how they just make such a big impact on your life, you know?
I was listening to Limp Bizkit when I was
I
at
love
school.
Limp Bizkit. Classic.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I was Limp Bizkit. I was Good Charlotte. Yeah, I went through a bit of an emo punk phase. Yeah, real mixed bag.
I was just obsessed with Nirvana. Every Kurt Cobain book, everything about that band, I was obsessed.
We've got some fun yes, no, maybe questions that we want to do.
please.
You're more than welcome to elaborate.
You can answer, yeah, with yes, no, or maybe, or elaborate or not, whatever you want to do. So we'll kick it off with, is there a color you secretly want to ban forever?
No. Sorry. Elaborate. No colors. I mean, even violet can exist.
Even violet, so that's your least favorite.
Yeah, but I'm sometimes using it. Maybe mustard.
Mustard.
No, there is no bad color. Every color exists only in a surrounding. Like by itself, it doesn't mean nothing. But when it comes together, makes sense. So it's comes in complex.
It's a good answer.
Collaboration.
Does your hair have to be better than the person you're dating?
Yes, but it's always better.
Absolutely. Your hair is amazing.
I'm not sure I'll find someone better than my hair.
I don't think so. You've got great hair. Okay. Do you believe the right dress can completely shift someone's mood?
Yes, absolutely. This is the purpose of my work. This is the idea, like to create a dress that makes you feel like a Hollywood star. So to change your vibe completely. It's like playing acting in a game.
My mum used to have a mink coat. I know that, this is a vintage mink coat. And she used to clean the house naked. She used to flip it inside out and she used to wear it naked around the house. And she felt $1 million. And I kind of thought it was iconic, really.
That's so
iconic.
iconic.
Had a bad day and she just flip it inside out and clean the house.
So she could feel
Feel
the
the
fur.
feel the fabric.
Wow.
I love
it.
Yeah, that's
So
iconic.
it can.
for sure.
I think clothing can shift.
I think when girls have a bad mood, they have to get a good dress and go outside.
Like the little black
not put on
dress.
the track pants and stay home. I think you should work opposite.
I mean, there's nothing better than actually putting on something that makes you feel like $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it does. It shifts something. I mean,
Well, you look $1 million in Anna's dress.
Oh,
You're gonna
thanks. I
pinch
feel
that.
it. I feel it.
Okay. Is packing for a trip harder than designing a collection?
Of course, no. Packing for a trip is easy. Like the best package I ever had was a passport and the panties. Going
Wow.
for the one night date
That's iconic.
to another country. It's easy.
2 Ps. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Literally.
3 Ps.
3 Ps. Oh, yeah.
Definitely need 3 Ps.
Why? And what is the third?
No, the penis.
The pleasure.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
Pleasure. Let's say pleasure. Doesn't have to be the other P. Okay. Going hard. Okay. If dresses could talk, would yours have gossip?
Oh, yes, of course. I mean, because, they're made to be worn by a woman and undressed by a man. So, and different things happen.
That's the thing I love about you is you're very sexually powerful, and you inspire women's sexual power, but in a really sort of beautiful and elegant way. I think.
Thank you, first of all, but also because sex is not a trading point. Sex is a pleasure, and everyone owns it, so everyone can enjoy it and can embrace it.
Absolutely. Well, this is our last question. Do you believe you're still discovering parts of your personality?
I hope so. Otherwise, I would just die and I would be boring and old. I hope so.
Aww.
Well, thanks for coming on and chatting to us.
This has just been so wonderful, and thank you for letting us, I don't know, just wear these beautiful pieces, and I don't know, we both feel great in them, but also just such a pleasure to sit and get to know you a little bit more.
Oh, we had a very beautiful conversation. Thank you for having me, and I really had fun.
What's next for you? Have you got any collections coming out? Are you doing, obviously you have this jewelry line. When is that being launched?
In June. And then another one collection in June in Paris. Now it's in New York, and moving to London finally, completely finding the flat.
Yay.
And then actually, I forgot to tell you, I'm being a producer of the movie.
Which movie? Which movie?
Yes, I became a film producer of a movie shot by American team in Ukraine about the youth surviving during the war.
Wow.
Love, creations, rave, etc., etc. So
Sounds
the next
incredible.
chapter is my identity as a producer.
Well, that's very exciting. It's one of the best jobs in the world, I think. I think you're gonna learn a hell of a lot. I'm speaking like I'm a professional, which I'm on the road to that as well. But my dad was a big producer in South Africa years and years ago. It's incredible to be part of creating something like a movie. It's a different form of creation. And it's amazing to see a vision come to life in a different format.
It's the first ever project that is not created by my hands, but where I truly believe and put in the effort and believe in in this. So it's interesting, but it's a hobby. It's not a profession.
And I love that you're talking about how rave is bringing together people in times of conflict.
Yes, it's you feel yourself physical but also vital with this being in the music, but also feel being surrounded by other bodies dancing, and
exciting.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting.
Yeah, we'll hopefully get you back on the pod one day.
Yeah, when your films come out.